What's up with all the vision health apps that Apple is now introducing in their newest software update? Is it hype, or is there actually research to back up all these things that they put into the Apple Watches and phones? I'm going to answer those questions and more coming up. Keep watching. Everyone, I am Dr. Rupa Wong. I'm a board-certified ophthalmologist, fellowship trained in pediatric ophthalmology. And on this channel, we talk about eye health, eye surgery, and kids' eyes. And the newest release by Apple, which was just discussed this week at their Worldwide Developers Conference. I, of course, paid attention a lot to the vision health, the things that they've got going on their phone, as well as their watch. So what is the reason behind this? Is this actually backed by science? Is it necessary? And is it going to work? Is it hype or actual facts? All right, let's dive in. So Apple is not wrong. Myopia or nearsightedness is on the rise globally. In fact, before the pandemic, those of us in pediatric ophthalmology and optometry, we used to say that nearsightedness was going to be the next epidemic to affect our children. And that's because currently 30% of people worldwide are nearsighted or myopic. And that number is going to grow to 50% in 2050. Just a little refresher, if you don't know what nearsightedness or myopic is, don't worry, I'm going to explain. Being nearsighted means that you can see up close, but you have blurred vision when you look at things far away. Therefore, you are nearsighted. You can see at near. The medical term for it is myopia. And typically the reason for myopia is that your eyeball is stretched a little bit longer than the normal eye that doesn't need glasses. This causes light to get focused in front of the retina, and that's why everything looks blurry when it's further away. Now, what does this have to do with Apple devices, and why are they making a big deal of it? Well, if you've seen any of my videos, and if you're not totally new to the channel, you know that there is a link between near work and nearsightedness. Near work is anything that's up close, reading, writing, coloring, and yes, screen time usage. I'm going to get more into that in a bit. But the first update that I wanted to tackle is their one on outdoor time. So they offered updates to the health features on the Watch OS 10, the iOS 17, and the iPad OS 17. And I'm mainly looking at the vision, of course. So Apple is not a dumb company. They are aware of the research. They likely have an ophthalmologist on staff. So they're paying attention to the bunch of literature and scientific reports out there, which have shown that increasing outdoor time is helpful at slowing nearsightedness in kids. All right, I'm going to repeat that again. So the more time you spend outdoors, the better it is for not needing as strong or as thick of a glasses prescription. These studies have been done all across the world. In fact, we knew about this association between outdoor time and nearsightedness as early as 1930. Check out this article that I found talking about how to prevent nearsightedness in kids. So this is not new. But in the last 10 to 15 years, there have been a lot of studies that have come out all across the world in different ethnicities, and that's really important. But the bulk of them have been in China, Singapore, Taiwan, but there's also studies in the US, the United Kingdom, and Australia, just to name a few. And one thing discovered is that when kids, all the way going up to even young adults, so young adults meaning early 20s, when they spend more time outdoors, then they are less nearsighted. There is an association. We don't exactly know what causes this improvement in nearsightedness. And remember, it's not that your nearsightedness gets better. It's just that it doesn't get as bad as quickly. The thought is that it might have something to do with dopamine levels or even vitamin D levels. But regardless, the association is there and has been shown in study after study after study. What do I always say as a pediatric ophthalmologist to my patients? I say, get outdoors. And the number that we're looking at is anywhere from about 80 minutes to 120 minutes. So I tell my patients 2 hours a day outdoor time slows the worsening of nearsightedness all the way up until college-age kids. So Apple is tapping into that research. They know that parents are concerned about how much time kids are getting outdoors. So now with their Apple update, you can, I'm pointing to my watch, I don't have an Apple Watch, but you can actually monitor how much outdoor time you're getting. And for kids that don't have an iPhone, you can use the family plan. So for my middle son, he's 11. We are not getting him a phone for the near future. He's got an Apple Watch. This way he can at least text us. He can call us. We've got the cellular. He's on the family plan, so we know where he is. But then there's no apps for him to dive deep into that rabbit hole. So he's under our plan. You can use the family setup and then track how much outdoor time, how much daylight time kids are getting. This new health app is available on the iPhone, the iPad, and then now, of course, your watch. Well, they've got those sensors built into the phones, watches, and the iPads. How do we know that it's tracking the correct amount of luminescence? In the studies that were done on outdoor time, kids actually wore little trackers on their shirts to measure how much outdoor time they were getting. And they found that anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 lux was helpful at slowing nearsightedness. Most outdoor environments are anywhere from 10,000 to 30,000 lux. So I'm assuming that the sensor that's in the Apple devices can measure that. Though I looked online and I couldn't find exactly the baseline that it does measure, but I'm assuming it does. If you know, drop that in the comments below because I'd like to know as well. And remember, a cloudy day outdoors is better than an indoor classroom. That has been shown several times. In fact, in several countries, in China, they have instituted mandatory recess of 2 hours a day. And they did this across 6 schools, and they compared it to 6 schools where they didn't institute it. They found that the incidence of nearsightedness was less in the schools where they had mandatory recess for 2 hours a day. So that's what I recommend for my patients, also pulling from all of the studies. That kind of seems to be the sweet spot. Just increasing outdoor time from 1 to 3 hours a day can decrease a child's nearsightedness by up to 50%. Remember, this effect is also good all the way up into your early 20s. I have a lot of patients whose nearsightedness gets worse when they are in college or graduate school, or when they have jobs that require them to be on computers or devices all the time. So that outdoor time is protected even into your early 20s. Does it matter what you're doing outdoors? Actually, the studies have shown it doesn't. They've even compared doing physical activity indoors to just hanging out, sitting under a tree outdoors, and the outdoor time was more protective against nearsightedness. So you don't need to be doing something really physical to get the effect, which is why I think the Apple sensor for monitoring the level of outdoor time, that's going to be good enough because it doesn't need to really measure your heart rate or your blood pressure or see if you're physically active. It just needs to measure the ambient light. So I'm going to say that this is not just hype with Apple for this feature, that outdoor sensor. I think that's a good one, and I'm eager to use it for my own kids. All right, they have a second feature on the health app, which is a really neat one. Basically, what it does is it tells you if you are holding your iPad too close. So that same sensor, which does the facial recognition software, well, they can figure out how close you're holding your iPad. As an ophthalmologist, we tend to recommend that people hold their devices about 25 inches away. This is going to decrease eye fatigue, eye strain, and it's going to minimize the amount of near work. Now remember, near work can constitute anything from reading, writing, or screens. The problem with screens, whether it's a phone or an iPad or a computer screen, is we all tend to hold them closer than we do other types of reading material. And that goes especially for kids. Kids love to be right in the middle of whatever cartoon, whatever YouTube, whatever show they are watching. They want to be in. So this is a neat thing because it's got a little app and it'll tell you to, as a reminder, to push it back and hold it back further. And then it has a little alert if you are at the right distance, and it tells you, it has a little check mark. So near work has been shown to be associated with nearsightedness. And there is an extensive body of literature and scientific studies on this topic. We found that if we can reduce that near work, that kids' risk of nearsightedness decreases. Well, of course, I want them doing their homework. I want them reading and writing. At least if they are doing iPad stuff or iPhone for entertainment purposes, at least if we can hold it a safer distance away, that's going to be beneficial. Is it going to be as effective as the outdoor one? Probably not. But every single thing that we can do to minimize the risk factors for nearsightedness, that's really helpful. And I'm going to explain why. Nearsightedness, it's not just a problem because of how thick your glasses are. Nearsightedness can be problematic because as your eyeball elongates, it can cause vision-threatening risks and complications. It leads to an increased risk of cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration, and retinal tears and detachments. Those 4 things happen with much higher frequency in people who are nearsighted compared to those who are not. So that's why this problem is a true one. And it's not just how thick your glasses are. We want to prevent potential future blindness. And we can make that happen by ensuring that kids are protected against nearsightedness. If they are indoors all the time, if they are holding their devices up close, then those are all risk factors for developing nearsightedness. Other risk factors include your family history. But of course, we can't do anything about your parents. So these are controllable. Your modifiable lifestyle factors, outdoor time, and the amount of time on near work activities. So I like these vision health features that Apple's going to be introducing. I can't wait to try it on. There is research to back it up. And I'm really excited to see Apple becoming an advocate for reducing nearsightedness in kids and young adults. It is a big problem. It's one I'm seeing continuously. And I like that we're now starting to be mindful on these bigger tech companies that are really fostering a lot of dependence on up-close screen time are doing their part to try to help mitigate that. All right, do you have any questions about the vision health app? I'll try my best to answer it. Of course, I don't have it yet. None of us do. It just was released at the developers conference, but I'm eager to try it out. If you've got it in another country, let me know. Drop it in the comments below. If you have questions about some of the research, drop those in. And if you want to learn more about nearsightedness, I have an entire playlist dedicated to kids, nearsightedness, and actual other treatment options which can slow nearsightedness down in kids. Yeah, there's other things we can do other than just getting them outdoors. There's eye drops that we can use, glasses that can be used, and even special contact lenses that can be used. So you can check that all out in the playlist and in those videos. Until next time, I'm Dr. Rupa. Bye-bye.